Yeah, kids like fried rice. Fried rice.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
Hey, don't get caught in the ledger, folks. You should ask a bookkeeper. This is Ask a Bookkeeper with Stephanie Conley, brought to you through the financial support of Steph's Bookkeeping. Check it out at www.stephsbooks.com. Today, partnerships, the good, the bad, and perhaps the ugly. Steph.
So, hey everybody, Stephanie Conley here with Steph's Bookkeeping Service. Hey Tim Santos with Health Markets. I thought today it might be a fun kind of, hopefully funny topic to talk about business partners and how you pick the right partner. Because I feel like when you're in business with somebody, you spend more time with them than you do your significant other. Because you're at work with them, so you're at the office with them. You guys talk before hours, maybe after hours, on the weekends. I feel like you probably talk to them more than your spouse. So I've, over the many years of bookkeeping and working for people and things like that, I've seen interesting dynamics and interesting partnerships. I've seen husband and wife. I've seen best friends. I've seen strangers that just met each other. I've seen all different dynamics. And so I was just curious for anybody out there listening that owns a small business or medium-sized business that has a partner. How did you pick your partner? And then did you have to kind of formally kind of propose your relationship to them? How does it all work? Because everybody knows my business partner is my husband. And I mean, I just got stuck with him by default because I'm married to him. So, I'm like,
He didn't buy in.
No. I just, so we kind of just went into it together. Yeah. So I was kind of like, and him and I, so I'll share with you guys since we're all family now. Him and I can't work together on a day-to-day capacity. We can't work on projects together.
It's a lot of togetherness.
Yeah. We can't do it. We just, even though we want to achieve the same goals, him and I have just the most opposite way of getting to the end result. The end result's the same, but it's just complete opposite way of getting there. Mm-hmm. So we have to kind of stay in our lane. We have to just delegate specific tasks and territories of the business and only collaborate on the things that are absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
But by doing that and having that type of dynamic and relationship, I feel like that's an outrageous amount of trust in someone. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I trust him, and he trusts me, so it's fine. But I don't know if I would be able to do that same level of trust with an outsider, like a friend or someone.
I mean, there's parts of your partner that you've seen that not everybody else has seen.
Probably close.
Well, I mean, there's times when he gets upset or something, at home or whatever, right? I mean, and, if Pete gets upset at home, I don't see that necessarily. So,
I guess that's true. I mean, yeah. I guess sometimes the way that we talk to each other when we're mad, mm-hmm. I don't know if I would talk to somebody normal like that. I wouldn't talk to you like that.
I would hope not.
So it's
here at 216 The Net, and thanks for tuning in, folks. The original founders, the original three, we had a radio show for year and a half, 2 years before we decided to branch out and create a radio station. So we had real good camaraderie and good chemistry between the three of us on air once a week, right? And then we started this business, and it didn't work so well because we were all afraid to step on each other's toes. So nothing really happened and nothing got done because our friendship was strong and we were like, yeah, you'll get it. I'm not going to hold you accountable, buddy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when there was three of us, it was very difficult to understand which roles who was in and who did what. And we all were just like, well, I thought you were going to do it. I thought you were going to. It's like the Three Stooges, really. Right.
Yeah, who's on first?
Yeah. Right. and then when Tim stepped away, then it was just Ron and I, and it was easier. Okay, you're going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then we did that. And then Ron passed away, or well, he didn't pass away. So then Ron got ill with cancer, and I bought him out. And then it was just me, and I was very excited. I was like, "Yeehaw! I'm going to do this!" And then all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh crap! I don't know half of this." I was good at what I do, but I was really bad at what Ron did. He was a very good businessman, right? And so I knew that if we were going to continue to make this fly, hey Mary, I knew that if we were going to continue to make this fly, I had to find somebody who was a good businessman, but also was very passionate, not afraid to be on the radio. And Pete had helped us out do commercials and voiceovers, and he was actually renting a space right over there by the open sign here in the studio. And we had a good camaraderie and kind of respected each other's space and whatnot. And then it was, I gave him a number, and he matched that number. So I was like, okay, let's go. So we brought him in. Now, during that same time, there was another gentleman who wanted to buy into this station, and I wouldn't even look at the offer. And the reason why is, I don't believe he had the same passion or the same drive to be on the air. And it was, you want to be a flash in the pan, or just enjoyed putting his name on businesses or whatever. So
right, yeah. Because I mean, like I've seen it before, like when you were describing when it was the three of you.
Yeah.
Where you guys where you have two or three people that are good friends.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I like, widgets. Oh, I like widgets too. Like, let's sell widgets together. Yeah. Or, hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
So like, let's do this together. Let's, do these things. And then when you start doing it, it's like you get afraid to compromise your friendship. And then you can't separate the friendship and the business. And the next thing you know, people aren't getting invited to like Christmas. And it's like weird sometimes. Or where you have like a boss and a subordinate, and then they leave a company, and then they decide they're going to open up their own company and be 50-50 partners.
Yeah.
But then you've always had that role of boss and subordinate. And I feel like what I've seen in the past is that it's harder for the boss to come to respect the previous person as their subordinate, as their equal now.
Yeah.
And it just, like, to me, like, it sometimes is like a weird dynamic. So
yeah,
it's like, I don't know how to get it to work.
Yeah. And now Pete comes in, he's very strong. I mean, he's run businesses for, multi-million-dollar businesses. I mean, the guy's brilliant business owner and businessman. So when he came in, I was like, we have to understand, this is what I'm good at, Pete. This is what I'm bad at. This is what I think you're good at, is what I'm bad at. And so I need you to do this. I need you to do this. The other thing too is he and I don't get hung up on titles. So many people, you're the CEO. I'm the CEO. You want to be president? No, I could care less. And Pete's the same way, which is cool. We just now have a passion to make this the best radio station in the world, right? Internet radio station in the world, and move it forward. So the funny thing is we laid that out really quickly, because I saw what the three of us did and didn't get anywhere. And because we were able to define those spaces now, and again, Pete's never been to my house. I've never been to his. I don't want to go to his house, nor does he necessarily want to come to mine. We work well together. On air, we're great together. But then go your ways, and You know, it's not like the families have to go picnic or go to the lake or, you know, go to a Cubs game or what, you know what I mean? It's just like,
Right.
no, you go do you when we're not here, and I'll go do me. And that's, we both really appreciate that too. So,
Mm. So like you kind of get like the little bit of a break from your work spouse,
Yep.
just like the same way you would get a little break from your actual spouse when you're
she
here at
she
the
gets
station.
a break from me.
Well, yeah. I mean, but yeah, I guess that kind of is
Yeah.
interesting, and that seems like it would work. Oh, Pete says it's the best internet radio station in the world, and Kent is exactly right. Well, so clearly you guys are on the same page.
My microphone was on. Oh shit, good.
So yeah, because I've seen like, so it's good that you guys, you know, weren't
Yeah.
working together, and then you have you kind of already had the kind of established business, and then Pete came into it, and it was able to just kind of blend and mesh well together. What does Lisa say? That's a high
her words confuse me
respect
sometimes.
and respect for the other.
Is that Yoda? I shouldn't drink on the job, Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys would equally have to, in any business partnership or relationship, you have to respect each other.
And the cool thing is, and this is what works well too, is our minds are both not microwaves. Our minds are conventional ovens. So I mean, we'll get an idea, and we both just know, we're not going to come to a conclusion here, you know, in the next 10 minutes. But you got to put that baby in there, let it heat up, work around, you know. It might have to be in the oven for a day or two, and all of a sudden, you know, I'll shoot him a text like, oh, pop, 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 you know, or he'll do the same thing. So
yeah, we I guess Rich and I are both like the most impatient people. So like if he wants, like for example, he wants to change our CRM software, so I was like, okay. And he's trying to talk to me about it at like 9:00 at night when I just, you know, worked all day and I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, let's, right,
more like a crock pot. Yeah, slow cooker. That's it. Just let it simmer in there.
Let it simmer, develop some flavors, and then
there's a lot of crock in there, I'll tell you. All right. Yeah. So, but now in the same breath, I used to own a coffee shop, and I had a partner who I felt was a friend, that guy decided to then steal all of our money, right?
Okay.
So I'm very trusting. So you know, hey, you take care of the books. I'll go do the sales. Again, I'm not the business guy. I'm the sales guy. Let me go and make money. You take care of the money. And he ended up, you know, dummying up the computers and the QuickBooks and stealing the money. And eventually, you know, running away. We had to close. So I've also been in a partnership with a friend that you don't really know. Right? You're like, oh, I didn't know that they were like this. So, you know, it took us 4 years to find them with a private investigator, but
you found them.
We found them. Yeah.
Yeah. See, like that. So after going through that experience, like, is that why now you guys kind of have your mini meeting to go over everything that like you're working and stuff that Pete's not good at, and then the stuff that he's working on that you're not good at?
Pete wasn't good at it.
No, I'm saying like the sales and the face and the, you know, the stuff that you do and the stuff that he does. So this way then it prevents that situation from potentially happening again.
Yeah. And, you know, and so we understand which direction we're going, what projects we're working on. And, you know, if he needs me to do something, he's not afraid to say it. If I need him to do something the same way. So, you know, and that's, truthfully, right? Yeah.
Don't feel bad, Kent. Some marriages end up with that experience. That's so true.
So a lot of it, partnership, you got to clearly define the role, right? So, you know, even in your marriage, we won't go into marriage counseling right now, but if if I just wait for Pete to do something, and it's something that I should have done, then you're going to fail, and vice versa. So if you're in a partnership, those roles have to be clearly defined. What is it that you do? What is it that your partner does? And then you got to be able to hold each other accountable.
So if you guys don't agree on something, then what do? Do you rock, paper, scissors it out, or flip a coin, or?
No, then you put it back in the crock pot and let her sit for a little bit. I think, it eventually will come out.
It'll come out right eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And no, I think we both have given in or said, okay, but so take for example, this beautiful banner over here, 21/6, it's on the wall. We had somebody in studio who offered to make a banner of what's on the back of the business cards, which is that painting that the guy in prison did, right? And so I told Pete, I'm like, hey, do we have a picture of that? And Pete's like, really? I hate that picture. Right. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know. I've always liked it. He goes, yeah, no, never done anything for me. So then you don't get a big banner. Why would I want to bring a banner in here? Hey, look at this picture you hate. I'm going to put it right in front of your desk. No. So you kindly decline. So, you know what? I appreciate that, but I can't find a picture, and I wish I could, to make it right. So, but you got to have the guts to be able to say that. So
Nicole says, unfortunately, I think partnerships are a live and learn lessons. It definitely helps with future partnerships. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like through navigating through the business, like when Rich and I first opened the business, our roles were very differently defined than they are now. They're very specifically and clearly defined. Oh, yeah. And you stay in your lane, I stay in my lane. Not to say that we don't like collaborate on things, but it just works best for us to just not micromanage and be on top of each other all the time. Like, otherwise we're never going to get any work done.
Yeah. She's talking to me. We're going into marriage counseling today on Ask a Bookkeeper.
Oh my goodness. This is a long one. Think about marriage if they looked at it as a partnership and said, hey, this is your strength and this is mine, and we'll iron out the rest. That respect level is beyond normal. Mm-hmm. Right. And we will iron out the rest that
respect level is beyond normal. So that's something that a lot of marriages don't see, right? Not that a marriage is a business, but when it comes to many arguments, it's about control and appreciation, and that would help alleviate that.
Rich says that our marriage is like a business contract. He said it was very businessy the day before we walked down the aisle.
Repeat my live and learn. That's it.
Yeah. So I just thought that if there was any other business owners outside of me and Kent out there that have had business partners that have gone good, and what strategies did you guys use so other people could maybe kind of take those lessons and implement them, or if it was bad, what are the red flags you should avoid?
And for the hundreds of thousands of people who are tuning in out there, Radio Garden, www.216thenet.com. Of course, this is Ask a Bookkeeper. You've got Stephanie Conley. Stephanie, if people wanted to take your advice on books, how do they find you? What do they do?
They could give me a call at 847-942-3004. Email me at steph@stephsbooks.com. Come by the studio area because our office is here as well at 1400 South State Route 31 in McHenry, Suite 207. That's pretty much how you can find me.
That's how you get it.
But yeah, if anybody out there has a question about bookkeeping, you could always throw it out there, and I could answer it, and we could switch gears and then circle back around to the partners and embezzling and all these different things. Like, because I've seen business partnerships where these two partners have been in business together for a long time, and one was supposed to be handling the books. It's kind of, I guess, a similar situation to what happened to you, where they're supposed to be handling the books and that side of it, and then they didn't pay taxes for 3 years.
Whew.
So then when the IRS finally
Whoops.
came to the office, then they're like, hey,
Yeah.
like, then that's how they found out that they owed $1 million. So, like, it's just little things like that. And like check-ins, like I feel like even obviously you got into business with somebody that you feel like you can trust. So that's obvious. But I still feel like there should be a mini meeting, some policies or procedures to double check everybody's work across the board to be able to protect everybody from themselves, from each other. I mean, there's human error all the time. It could have been just an innocent mistake. I mean, not the tax thing, but the other stuff could just be an innocent mistake that somebody just goofed on, and then you catch it and it's fixed, So, what does Mary say? Separating business from personal is an absolute necessity. And if you are incapable of doing that, they might not want to do business at arm's length.
Yep.
And what is Nicole says, red flag partnerships, assuming that it'll get better.
Yeah, no, that's so true right there, right? I mean, that's and that's kind of the way it was when there was three of us. It's like, oh, it'll get better. No, no,
Yeah.
And then the metal has to meet the road, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a saying. I just said that.
Isn't it the rubber has to meet the road?
Maybe
or
rubber.
Tires?
Yeah.
But like, it's just kind of like I have some friends that I've known for over 20 years, and we hang out, we do stuff, but I would never go into business with them. I love them to death. They're like family, but I would never go into business with them because I feel like it would destroy our friendship.
Yeah.
Like we just don't have the same work ethic.
You're focused a little bit. You're a bit of a driver. I mean, you're a whip cracker.
Yeah.
You're like, let's get this shit done. Do it right.
Yeah, I have certain. It's bad. I feel bad for when we actually officially hire and I stop being a chicken. But yeah,
that's right. When you choose your business partner, did you go through it like you would an interview, or just trust the friendship? On my first business, I just trusted the friendship. Right. On this, again, we had good chemistry, so we felt good chemistry would make it work, and it didn't. So Pete, again, like I said, he had done some work for us, and it was kind of an interview for a year while before we made the offer. So.
Yeah. Have you ever been, so like Mary's saying that she kind of bounces ideas off of other business owners and, just to get different perspectives. Have you ever been just chatting with like a group of friends or business owners and talked about, maybe opening up another business or expanding your revenue? And then there's always someone in the group I feel like is like, oh, I'll buy into that. I'll give you, 10 grand to buy in.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, stop and think about it for a second. You're like, I wasn't really pitching this as a sales meeting.
Right.
Like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, how do you tell somebody, hi, Mom, how do you tell somebody, no, you don't want to be in business with them?
In this business, I excuse myself from the room and let Pete do it because he ain't afraid. I gotta go get a drink real quick, answer this call, and when I come back, Pete's like, I told him no. Yeah.
Yeah. Christine says business partners have to have good chemistry. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there has to be some like good chemistry in your personalities and stuff, but like your actual work and your strengths can be like a yin and yang balance kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think your work ethic overall has to be very similar.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can't stand listening to people. Like, I don't even know how many times I could tell you if I have to sit and listen to each business partner telling me that how much harder they work than the other guy or Gail or whatever.
Oh, there's no doubt that Pete works harder than I do.
And like just having to listen to them do that, like it's just so frustrating when you guys handle different components of the business that would require different like time.
Yeah. She said, I love you all, but I love my nails too, so I have to go. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Sounds like she's going to get her nails done.
Oh, gee, many crickets. Yeah, I don't know if you have to have good chemistry, and I would ask Christine what she means by that. You got to be able to get along. I got to be able to look you in the face, right? I got to be able to, tolerate you while we're here. But if we're pushing for the same goal, I guess there's going to be a little bit of chemistry there, right? Quote unquote. But I don't necessarily need to. And I'm guessing you're probably the same way. First thing, oh my gosh, you know what? So Lucy this weekend, you know what I mean? I don't. When I hear the word chemistry, I kind of think of, I want to be able to, tell you,
your personal stuff,
yeah, about my gerbil fart or whatever, and I don't think business partners need that. I need to know who your family is. I don't necessarily need to meet them, but I need to know who they are. So when you say a name, oh, that's your son. Okay. Right. But I don't necessarily need to know everything that happened during the weekend. And, we don't have to be buddy. We're here to build a business, so let's build this business and make it right. Now if you do have somebody like that, I mean, you and Rich got to be able to, look at each other naked. So, I mean, it's a different thing.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like even though it's not a partnership thing, but I feel like I've made the mistake in the past when I've been in middle management and I've gotten too friendly with my staff. Not like
a little chummy.
Yeah, not like where we're going to call HR friendly, but like where we will go have a beer together. Yep. Or we'll, go out with our kids together or something like that. And it's just kind of like, then it blurs and muddies that water, and then it changes the whole like work thing.
Yeah.
Because I've had so many people that have worked underneath me be like, oh, I like fun Stephanie better like at the company picnic when you have your kids are there and you're having some beers and you're so fun. But then when you're at work, you're not so fun.
This is work.
Like, it's like I can't be like your friend all the time. Like you still have to put out a certain level of performance for me to tolerate you throughout the day. Like,
well, yeah. So Mary says, I don't have to like you. I have to trust in your ability. Yeah, that's totally it. And be accountable. Christine says, being able to know your partner's strength and weakness. Everyone has say and able to hear them out and understand. You also have to have the same moral ethics. You want the business. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if that's chemistry, then yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah, because I couldn't be in a business relationship with somebody that didn't share the same overall values, especially on customer service. That's a very big thing for me. Like anybody that I would partner up with in a business has to have the same drive as me, and they also have to have the same values.
Yeah.
And stuff, because I know someone that for some reason, since I've known them, they've gone through quite a bit of business partners, and they always kind of buy them out. Like after a year and a half, they buy them out and get a different one.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but they just find these people, and the business that they own is pretty healthy. It's pretty good, business. But then it's like they find these partners that sound great, look great on paper, so they interview good. And then they're very lazy. So they don't understand for the business to be at the level that it's at and be at the health that it's at. You got to do stuff to keep feeding it, to keep growing it, to keep nurturing it. It doesn't just do it by itself. It's not like a Tesla. It doesn't autopilot.
It doesn't autopilot. Yeah.
So
it does not.
But
no, I think there's a lot to take, and you know what, to Nicole's piece, you just don't know. I mean, you may think you're going in with a great partnership, and you just don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it was easy. Right? Like, I feel like I was just about to say that, Tim. Sleeping with the partner was the best for business.
No?
You know? I mean, you really get to know them then at that point.
Yeah, Rich.
Wait, is that like a hashtag me too, or is that just me too?
Well, those make for interesting board meetings, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness, that's great. But you know what? To both the Santos and the Conleys, you guys have figured it out. It's a tough thing to do, and you guys have figured it out and run both very, very successful businesses. So, there's something to that, and that's the people should tip their hats to you guys because it ain't easy. I mean, that's a tough thing.
Well, I think if it wasn't for our kids holding Rich and I accountable to turning turning work off at a certain time, like both of our boys have no problem telling us to stop talking about work. Like, this is not fun. I'm just going to eat in my bedroom. Like, they hold us accountable to help us keep that balance and separate
That's cool.
that work and personal balance. Because when it was all 100% work at the start of the business, we started kind of losing some of our personal life then.
No, that's cool. That's good that they do that.
Right? You guys are ridiculous.
Right? That's right.
Well, it looks like we...
Right. Hey, it's 4:00. How about that? All right. Hey, you know what, folks? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the show. The happy ukulele does mean that it is time. This has been another episode of Ask a Bookkeeper with Steph Conley, brought to you through the financial support of Steph's Books. Steph, how do they find you?
847-942-3004. Email me at steph@stephsbooks.com, or you could fill out our pricing calculator on our website at stephsbooks.com.
All right. So for all of us here at 216net, we thank you for tuning in. Come back 6:30 this evening for Whining with Dawn. What are those cookie ladies going to talk about tonight? Come back, find out. I don't know how to end the show. We'll just